Ever since the Land Rover became an expensive fashion accessory rather than an affordable off-roader, pickups have been the choice for farmers and those wanting a capable off-road vehicle that works for their business and is practical for towing, etc. This is the latest offering from Isuzu. It's the facelifted Isuzu D-MAX. I was lucky enough earlier in the year to attend the launch of the facelifted D-MAX and test out the new rough terrain mode, going off-road in mud, having a lot of fun with the vehicle on road tyres as well. So the off-road capability is certainly there. I've had this for a few days, so I've been able to also test it on road. This is the top of the range Vcross, and I decided to go for the manual as I believe this suits this sort of vehicle. So today I'm going to tell you all you need to know about the new Isuzu D-MAX Vcross, some of the changes from the previous model, and let you know should you buy this vehicle. Thank you to Isuzu UK for loaning me this D-MAX for a week so I can get a full overview of the vehicle. If you want to know more about the vehicle, keep watching. Let's start with the exterior design and some of the tweaks that have been made from the previous model. So you can see to the front of the vehicle, you've got that chunky face, that really large grille, Isuzu across there in chrome, and then you've got this dark chrome on this V-Cross model and this darker front grey fascia as well. This is in a lighter chrome on other models. I think chrome has kind of been done to death, especially on the pickup market, but I like this darker effect. It just looks more modern and stealthy in my opinion. You've got these full LED headlights as well, which look really great. These are on DL40 and the V-Cross model. DL40 is a near top spec model. It's very similar to the V-Cross. There's just a few little tweaks on the V-Cross version like this one. So these are really nice with this new signature. Looks really great and just has that really imposing look on the road. Also down below you've got new LED fog lights and a new air curtain design for improved aerodynamics to the vehicle. Of course, pickups aren't known for being the most aerodynamic, but this will certainly help with those higher speeds, motorway driving, etc. Colours available on the D-MAX, and with your utility range, which is just your kind of more bog standard with steel wheels, commercial vehicles, you have a choice of two different colours. The whole range of D-MAXes comes as standard in splash white, which is the solid white paintwork, which does suit the vehicle well, but obviously has that commercial look. On the utility range, you can also opt for mercury silver. All metallic options are £600 excluding VAT, £720 including VAT. This is the spinel red colour, which does look very nice. It's available on DL40 and V-Cross models. There's a choice of 8 different colours available on the V-Cross, going down to 6 on the DL40, 4 colours on the DL20 and just 2 on the utility range. So the higher the trim, the more colours are available to you. Exclusive colours to the V-Cross are the new Sienna Orange, which I saw for the launch of the vehicle. If you do want to know more about the colours and see the colours on the actual trucks, then you can click up there and watch my video of the launch and also when off-roading that video. Also, Dolomite White is another exclusive V-Cross colour. That looked great. It's a pearl white colour, which I think looks really nice. Some other colours available on the vehicle: Mercury Silver, which did suit the vehicle very well. You've also got the Obsidian Grey, which is just a nice dark grey colour. You've got the black, which does look really nice as well, suiting the vehicle well. Going up to DL40, that does open up some more colour options available to you, including the Biarritz Blue, which is quite a nice, vibrant, bright blue colour. Obviously, you've got this spinel red as well. So there's definitely plenty of options to choose from on your truck there, and there is different cab types available as well. The V-Cross, you can only have it in this double cab model. You can start with the single cab, you've got the extended cab, and then you've got the double cab like this, which is the most popular because it's able to use it as a family vehicle as well as having that practicality. Now, benefit in kind tax is going to change on these from the 5th of April this year, so probably by the time you're watching this video it would have changed, but if you get a car registered before then, you'll be able to still benefit from the lower flat rate, which means for a 20% taxpayer on a pickup truck before this change, it's around £800 per year benefit in kind. Once these changes have been made, it's going to move more up to about £3,500 for a V-Cross like this. So it's definitely something to consider if you are going to be using it for work and personal use. To the side of the truck on this V-Cross, you can see you've got these dark grey side steps, which is nice. You can opt for some roof bars, and I think they're definitely worth having because it does look a bit plain without having them on a truck. I think they need them. You do have the grey handles as well. On the DL40, these are chrome, as are the side steps. Side steps are standard on DL40 and Vcross models. So you'll see there's a lot of similarities between the DL40 and Vcross. There's just a few tweaks really in styling. I think the Vcross does have that more modern and stealthy look to it. And how about the wheels offered on the D-MAX? Well, on the utility range, you get Steelies, steel wheels, and they look good. They're proud to be steel wheels. They don't have any plastic trims. They just look nice and obviously do the job. Going up to the more premium vehicles, so DL20 and above, starts with these 18-inch silver alloys on DL20. These are a new design for the facelift. They look nice and suit the vehicle well. They're more car-like. Going up to DL40, you get the same wheels, but in a two-tone diamond cut look, so black and silver. Again, a nice wheel and suits the truck very well. Going up to Vcross, you get these 18-inch matte grey wheels. You can upgrade to 19-inch wheels as like an accessory, but I don't really think they're worth going for when the wheels look this good as standard. These Vcross wheels are definitely my favourite. More that truck-like look that you get on the Ford Ranger, I really appreciate that, whereas the other wheels are more car-like. To the back of the D-MAX, there is a couple of more tweaks, like the triple shield lights, which do look good. However, the indicator bulbs are just normal halogens, which is a little disappointing. You've got Vcross across the back now in just a sticker, does stand out a bit more, and then you've got your chrome badging as Isuzu D-MAX. That would have been quite nice to be in grey for this Vcross model. I think that would look good. You do have your integrated step into the back of the bumper here, but none in the side of the bumper like you do on the Ranger, which I like. This has got a Brink tow bar fitted, and you can of course tow up to 3.5 tons, so super capable for that as well. So that's a great thing about the truck. Lots of the way how the truck drives and some of the features, and obviously it uses more fuel, a family SUV makes a lot more sense, but when it comes to off-roading and pure capability, a truck can be often unrivaled. Now let's take a look under the bonnet and see what powers the D-MAX. So you don't get a hydraulic strut like you do on some other vehicles, not too heavy. You'll find the 1.9 PD turbocharged diesel 4-cylinder engine across the D-MAX range. In some other regions like Australia, they get a 3-litre diesel, but we don't get that in the UK. So Ford and Volkswagen win on this one with a wider range of engines. However, this might suit you perfectly. It's available with a 6-speed manual like this one, or a 6-speed automatic is also available. 0 to 60 on the manual can be done in 10.9 seconds, which isn't too bad, and 0 to 62 takes 12.7 seconds. So you can see at a certain speed it does start to slow down and not pick up the pace as much. The automatic, however, takes 13 seconds 0 to 62, meaning it's a little bit slower in the auto guys. It's also less efficient being automatic as well if you go for the auto version, so you get a combined MPG of around 30 rather than around 32 on the manual model. In the real world, you will see a better fuel consumption from the manual version, and it is a smoother drive overall as well, and the manual really suits it, so I definitely recommend going for the manual with this sort of vehicle. But you could try the auto and it may be for you. It definitely has more of an agricultural feel to it. Now this engine has got 164 PS, 161 brake horsepower, it's turbocharged, and it has got 360 Newton meters of torque. Another key feature with this vehicle is the reliability. So it may feel more agricultural than some other vehicles, but this is a very proven power plant for the Isuzu. These are known to be incredibly reliable over many years and hundreds of thousands of miles. So that is where other brands can't necessarily win. It doesn't have a wet belt, it is chain driven as well. So that means your maintenance is going to be cheaper and it's going to be altogether a more reliable package. So another thing to bear in mind. All D-Maxes are a 6-speed regardless whether you go to auto or manual. So if you are looking for an auto truck, I would probably point you in the direction of the twins from Ford and Volkswagen with the Ranger and the Amarok, because that 10-speed auto is just a bit smoother and keeps them revs down at higher speeds. It also just feels a little bit more like a premium vehicle, more suited to those higher speed motorway drives than this truck does. But then this has the speciality of its off-road capabilities. I've driven one of these off-road, and what I can say is its rough terrain mode is incredible. Can have the top spec Vcross, which this one is here. with the manual gearbox, which you can't do on the Ranger or the Amarok. The Amarok, you can only have a manual on the standard life model, and the same goes with the Ranger. You can have it on the basic models. You can't have it on a Ranger Wildtrak, for example. And the clutch is surprisingly light as well. It doesn't spring back at you like a Nissan clutch does. Quite an easy truck to drive. Oh, that's your ADAS saying there that I'm going to crash. It comes up with that flashing light bar as well. It feels solid. You've got some of those modern safety features now with the ADAS systems. It's definitely much improved from the pre-facelift vehicle. Great that it's got a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating as well, because trucks, they can find it quite difficult to get the 5-star rating. They're not always the safest thing. You might think being such a big vehicle, they're very safe, but they can have their difficulties being a ladder sort of chassis, etc. And sometimes with commercial and truck vehicles, their assistance systems aren't as developed as what you'd find in a normal vehicle, whereas Isuzu have really taken safety seriously with this D-MAX. So that's great to see, and it means you can feel confident using it as your family vehicle. If you're doing a lot of motorway driving, this isn't really what the D-MAX is designed for. You'll probably be happier on some B roads and A roads than you will on the motorway all the time. You've got to really rev it through the gears. I'm in 6th gear now, going 46 with my foot flat to the ground. 47, 48, 49, 50. It gets there, but it's not fast. But if I did put it in lower gear, it would be a bit faster. You do have to rev it out if you want to get up to those higher speeds. It has got very good engine braking as well, so you can drive it properly using your gears as they should be used. You can feel you've got that truck-like bumpy suspension. When you go over a bump, you do feel it through everywhere. It's got that floaty feeling. It's not uncomfortable. It is a bit bouncy in the back as well, so you might get some car sick kids compared to a normal family SUV. You've got a nice footrest as well to place your foot out the way, just beside the clutch. Yeah, the gear shift's nice. I'd definitely go for a manual. It just makes the most sense and is the most enjoyable driving experience. It's not too hard to live with. Your gear change indicator is really good as well. You can see it up there in the green. It'll come up when it tells me. If I accelerate now, there we go, it'll tell me I want to go into 3rd gear there. And it's all very clear. It's not planted like a car would be or an SUV. You get quite a lot of wind noise as well. The seats are comfortable though, so it is possible to go on long journeys in the car. I have averaged 28 miles per gallon over the last 20 miles. That's a lot of town journeys and short journeys, which we all know diesels aren't the massive fan of, but it's not awful. It's not far off the 32 combined, and I've found on those slightly longer journeys you are getting much better MPG figures. And there is a bit of a charm as well to it having traditional characteristics as well. You know, the manual gearbox, it being just a normal diesel. There's no electrification, which could work quite nicely, I suppose, but obviously will increase prices, stuff like that. So it just feels very analog in some ways, in a good way, but it's got your modern features that you need as well. So it's very familiar. I think most people could just jump in this and get along with it fine, even with the new technology in the screen. It all works very well. It's all quite simplistic, which I really appreciate. Everything's quite lightweight, the steering's quite light. It makes it easy enough to drive. You get a really good view out as well, as you do out of a lot of trucks. The view out the back isn't amazing. Of course, this has got a Truckman leisure canopy on the back of it as well. Now these are a farmer's best friend, basically, being so capable off-road. I mean, I drove this off-road on road tyres, which I was shocked when I heard that they were road tyres as well. I didn't really look at the tyres, just normal road tyres, and it performed insanely well. And this new rough terrain mode made a huge difference as well. So basically what it did is it's like traction control on steroids, basically, providing grip to which wheel needed it the most and kicking in very quickly so you weren't skidding for very long. There's no hiding that it's a diesel. It is very diesel-y, rattly. It's part of the charm of the vehicle though, and why people like them. So even up a high steep hill like this, 3rd gear, 26 miles an hour, It's perfectly happy. Some petrol cars would be lugging a bit at this stage, but this is perfectly happy to do so. It wants me to go into 4th gear now. With the anti-stall technology, if I pop it in 1st gear and crawl along here, lift up on the clutch and come off the clutch, it'll just crawl along at 2 miles an hour. And if I pop it in 2nd gear, it just crawls along there 7-8 miles per hour. And then in 1st gear, it crawls along at about 2 miles an hour. So it's so clever. It means even off-road, it doesn't require any more effort than an automatic. It's a surreal feeling driving sideways. You can see this is the angles on screen, which is really good. It tells you your steering angle, so you can make sure your wheels are straight when you're off-roading. That's a really key feature that I used when I was off-roading as well. And then also your ground angle. So 30 degrees is what you can do up here. So we go up to the side. Obviously my sensors are going off, but you can see it doesn't feel natural to drive a car like this, but if you are going to drive any car like this, it's going to be one of these. I could put on my rough terrain mode as well. There we go. And that's just going to give me a bit more grip. There we go, I can feel that. Feel more confident on there. If you need to pass someone on this road, you can just jump up one of these banks. And this is where this vehicle really comes in, is its off-road capabilities. This is not available on a normal family SUV. Now accumulated 107 miles, averaging 32.6 miles per gallon. So a little trip up to the lakes has done it a lot of good. It's great as well driving on the country roads. Good high view out of everywhere is great as well. So inside the D-MAX, this is where quite a few changes have been made to the vehicle. We're in the top of the range Vcross model, so it's got all the extras on it, including these lovely, mostly real leather seats in black. They're very comfortable. The fabric seats though are equally as comfortable that I sat in on the launch. They were lovely. You get this armrest as well, which is very comfortable. Manual handbrake on all models as well, which is a bonus for some people. They do prefer to have that. It's not leather wrapped on the actual plastic section, which is a bit disappointing, but the gear shifter has got a leather wrap section, which is nice. It is quite a long shifter, but it does make it really easy and it doesn't feel too cumbersome, especially as you're sitting higher up anyway. It's quite easy to change the gears. This has got the electronic climate control because it's the highest trim. On the normal ones, you just have 3 dials. Very self-explanatory, easy to use. Now, as standard, you get an 8-inch infotainment display now, which is great. Before, you didn't even get a screen as standard. And get this, it's got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto as standard as well, so another great thing on the vehicle. Now, some materials are a little bit plasticky and hard, so it's quite plasticky all here. You do expect this though from a commercial vehicle, so I'll let them off with that. But you have a nice bit of this dark grey. Up here's all really nice materials with the stitching looking quite premium as well. As is the steering wheel, it's got that really chunky feel. All the buttons are so easy to use, and you've got these 7-inch digital dials on DL40 and Vcross models. These are extremely crisp and look great. On DL20 and below, you've got a 4.2-inch TFT display there, so still displays everything that you need to see, but this digital display is very good indeed. You've also got this red light bar at the top that flashes when there may be a hazard present, so say if it thinks you need to brake or what have you, it will let you know. You've also got now intelligent adaptive cruise control, which is a nice feature to have, another great safety feature on the vehicle. So they've made it better for your motorway driving. Where they're the best is off-road and on those country lanes, but it's nice that you are able to have some creature comforts to be able to do those longer journeys. Bit of storage there. You've also got this cool little cup holder here that pops out. You've also got your auto lights and then also your engine start. You've got keyless entry and start on the DL40 and Vcross. Got a wireless charger on this model as well. Your heated seats on each side, which is nice. And then all of your 4-wheel drive controls are here as well. The screen is facing slightly away from the driver, which is a little bit annoying. It would be better more central, but it's not too bad, and it doesn't impede on your view, so it's not sticking out. It's very user friendly, which I do like. You've got physical volume as well. Also, all the menus on the screen are super easy to use. ADAS, you can just go through, turn everything off if you don't want traffic sign on or what have you, but they're all the assistance systems which are standard on the vehicle, which is excellent to see. You can see the parking sensors come up. You've got a really wide angle of the vision as well for your sensors and your camera as well, so it does kind of the whole area of the front bumper. The same with the rear. So it really is very good. You can see there, the camera's very accurate there, tells you when you're turning, etc. Really clear on this 9-inch screen, and even on the 8-inch screen it's perfect as well. All you need on the car is to know your angles if you're off-roading, to have your music on there, to have your maps on there, and this does all of that perfectly well. As I say, these seats are really supportive and comfortable as well, and electronically adjustable on the L40 and this Vcross. Your lumbar support is electronically adjustable as well on this model. The passenger seat isn't height adjustable, unfortunately, which is something we see on quite a lot of vehicles. It's a bit annoying, but it does go forward and back, and of course you've got the backrest adjustable as well, and the headrest is a little bit firm, but it's not too bad. You've also got these really chunky grab handles, which are great for off-roading, helps you get into the vehicle. The D-MAX does bring plenty of practical features as well, like large bottle holders, big door bins. They're not carpeted or anything, but it is very commercial. You've got this new geometric pattern inside as well. It could be a bit more exciting, but it does feel quite well screwed together and good quality overall. And we can see this has got a Truckman hardtop leisure canopy on it. These are about £2,200 excluding VAT, so not cheap, but they add another level of practicality to the truck, essentially almost doubling your space inside, and obviously securing items a lot easier. You can also opt for a mountain top roller shutter should you wish, that's quite popular, but I do see most pickup trucks around here do generally have a Truckman hardtop on them. You can opt for different brands as well directly from Isuzu, but the Truckman is a well-known, very good brand. These weigh about 100 kilograms. So in this manual Vcross, the payload is 1,100 kilograms, so 1.1 tons. This weighing 100 kilograms, it means you've got a ton of payload. If you do go for the automatic, that does actually reduce your payload by 30 kilos. So something to bear in mind, but it's not gonna be a bother to most people. But let's have a look in the back. So of course, this is where pickup really does come into its own, is the sheer space you get. This is also on a hydraulic latch, so that comes down really nice. That's a standard feature on the truck. You have to opt for that on a Ranger, so quite nice that you have it, and it's also quite light to then lift up. The tailgate itself has a limit of up to 200 kilograms, so change your boots on here and it still will take your weight, which is great. You can also use it as a workbench should you wish, obviously helping you to grab things out of the back, etc., or have your dogs jump up. It's not a worry. This has also got the Truckman bed rug fitted, which is really lovely, carpeting the whole section essentially. This is over £500. It's a really nice feature, making it feel more car-like than truck-like, and also it does absorb some sound from what you'd get from the back, so you don't have much echoiness at all like you'd get in a van, for example. You could camp in the back of here. I did think about it, but it is still bit too cold in March in the UK. Obviously the Truckman hardtop just clamps on with these clamps around here. It's also got the sliding side windows in this one as well. As with all pickups, you've got endless possibilities of bolt-on kits and things like that, so you can really make it your own and really make it fit to your business as well. What I do like though about the D-MAX is that inside the vehicle, like your heated seats, like your leather, like your armrest, they're all included depending on each trim. You don't have to opt for loads of option packs like you do have to in the twins from Ford and Volkswagen. They can be quite stingy, and it is nice because you can customize your truck to exactly how you like it, but Isuzu makes it so much easier to do so. You just say, I want this trim, it comes with this, rather than Ford being a bit more complicated, having to add packs, etc. Isuzu makes it much simpler, which also makes it easier to buy a used vehicle because you know exactly what equipment it's going to come with, which is great. And that's all under your central locking as well, so it makes it super easy to lock it with the vehicle. So in the back, what am I thinking? Well, this is where my driving position is, and I've got quite a lot of headroom and knee room, not too bad. Pickups are known for being smaller in the back than they may look, so of course you've got that big low bed and then the front cabin space, and the back can sometimes be a bit of an afterthought even with a double cab vehicle. This doesn't feel so much like that. You've got enough space. You do sit quite upright, but it's not too bad. You've got a flat floor on each side, which is nice. You do also have your armrest. It's a bit of a faff to get out. It's nice and comfortable, and 2 cup holders in there as well. You've also got a USB-C port in the back of here too. You've got some space underneath the seats, and you've also got your 2 ISOFIX points as well, which is nice. So that's all quite good. Middle seat, how is that? You can't put your feet on this middle bit unless you're a little kid. So you do have to spread out your feet a little bit, probably for shorter journeys in the back. You do have a useful little hook here as well to hang up your coat, for example, so that's nice. And you do have your pockets in the backs of both seats as well, so that's good. Nice little bit of padding as well on the armrests on each side. And then you've got your grab handles here as well. Also, some speakers up in the roof. It is quite a good sound system on this Vcross model with its 8 speakers. Got a good grab handle here as well for if you are going off-roading, and you do feel every single bump in the back of this vehicle. So if your kids do get car sick, pickup might not be the best way forward for you and your family, but I think this is quite good, especially if you just take the kids to school, whatever, it's got enough space there. If you regularly have people for a long time, you might find an SUV is going to offer better comfort for everyone, but I think for most people it's going to be not too bad. Quite happy overall in the back of it. If you do have the seat further back, as this one is here, you're going to have a bit less space, but the backs are carved out a bit and they're a bit squishier. So yeah, it's not too bad. My 6'2" dad did sit in the back of here and he said it was a bit squished, but he wasn't too bad. So then, what are my overall thoughts on the D-MAX? Well, I think it's an incredibly capable vehicle. Brand loyalty is a huge thing for Isuzu. Being a Japanese brand as well, they're known for being so reliable, and that's a key factor when it comes to these type of vehicles. They're made to have a beating on and off-road. The engine is proven to be reliable as well, and really nice on this that you can have a manual transmission even on the top spec Vcross model. And overall, lots of new features with the new ADAS system, new infotainment screen. It's also really quite efficient on the motorway. I was getting around 50-60 miles per gallon, which is great. And then around town at the slower speed, you're getting around the 30 miles per gallon mark. So a combined 35 miles per gallon is pretty accurate. If you do need that off-road capability or do need that towing capability, then a pickup truck is sometimes the only option. The new rough terrain mode that I tested out at the launch adds to this 100%. It's tried and tested and definitely a truck you should consider, especially if you're considering hanging on to it for a longer period of time. A huge thanks to Isuzu UK for lending me their D-MAX for a full week so I can get a full overview. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you in my next review.